An investigation into a fire at a hotel near the Maine-New Hampshire border has taken a new turn. Today, officials say a body was found in the debris in Kittery at the Days Inn. Good evening. Thanks for joining us this half hour. I'm Brian Yacono.
And I'm Amanda Hill. The fire marshal's office made that announcement a little over an hour ago and gave an update on their investigation. News Center Maine's Jack Mulmid joins us from the scene live. Jack.
Well, Amanda, the fire chief for Kittery did tell us earlier this afternoon that the extent of the damage of this fire here at the Days Inn in Kittery was just so intense it could take a long time for the medical examiner to determine exactly who the victim was that perished here in the fire. Meantime, the fire marshal did tell us that it's also going to take a long time to determine the actual cause of this fire, also due to the conditions that made this fire just so hard to put out. And the fire chief went on to say that it was a really difficult situation for his crew to go into, and he said it was just a big mix of conditions that really made this, he said, a firefighter's nightmare.
It was a very difficult fire. It was a challenging fire. You understand that we had 30 knot winds. That fire was fanned by the winds. It had a very, very, very large start. The building is wood frame with furniture. Lots of material to burn inside that building. It is a firefighter's nightmare with individual rooms and hallways and everything else. So trust me when I say that I was extremely hesitant when I sent my firefighters into that building to go make that initial primary search.
Now, a little bit more detail about that one victim. It will be up to the medical examiner to determine the identity of that person. Like I said earlier, that could take a long time. We do know they were most likely a guest at the hotel, as every staff member was accounted for. The fire chief also said everybody else that was a guest here was accounted for as well. The body was discovered around 2:15 this afternoon. That was around the same time the fire chief announced that there would be a press conference. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, and as you heard, the conditions along with the wind made it extremely hard to fight this fire. Meantime, guests staying at this hotel lost their clothes and their personal belongings. One man we spoke to said he's working in Portsmouth for this month and lost his computer and his clothes.
Obviously, it was a shock that this never happened to me. I mean, even talking to people at work, I had to, and they said, oh my God, never heard of something like this before. Because, where I work, they're always sending people to other places to work, and nothing like this has happened. But yeah, I count my blessings. It could have been a lot worse. I could have had my car there, and I could have carpooled with somebody, and now I'm without a car.
Now, the fire marshal's office did tell us that, like I said earlier, it will take a few days to determine the cause of this fire. Meantime, the fire chief did say something that also made this really difficult for them was the actual fact that the hotel owners didn't keep a record of the hotel guests that did stay here. Now, the fire chief did say that that could be a violation for the Department of Health and Human Services for the state of Maine. Any potential violation or charges that could come out of that, the fire marshal said, would come from this investigation that is currently still going on. Amanda?
Jack Mulmid live in Kittery for us. Thank you, Jack.